So the last thing we're going to look at is rearranging formulas. Now we're going to use the same properties and the same techniques we looked at for solving single variable equations. What we're doing now is working with formulas that have, two or more variables in them. And a common one, and one we all know, is the perimeter of a rectangle. So P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W, right? So we've got 3 variables in here. Okay, so say we want to find or isolate the variable W. So what do we do there? Here we go. So here's our original equation or formula. So of course now we're going to use our addition subtraction rule. So here we've got 2L on the right side, so we're going to move it to the left, so that makes it minus, so P minus 2L. And then, as I mentioned earlier, usually the last step is multiplication division property. So here W is being multiplied by 2, so just divide the whole P minus 2L over 2. So that's W. So if we know P and we know L, then we can just plug those values in here and we can find what W is. And quite often that's why we rearrange formulas. We know certain values for the variables in the formula except one, so we rearrange it to find that particular value. What else we got here? I've got, I think, 3 or 4 more to look at here. So here's one. This is the area of a triangle. 1/2 the base times the height. Say we know the area and the base, we want to find the height. Well, here we know that multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. So we're just going to multiply the a by 2 on this side. And here we've got b times h, so we're just going to divide by b, 2a over b. Right? So here, this is a double application of the multiplication division property. So h is twice the area divided by the base. So if we know these, we can find h. Next one. Okay. If you say this is the Pythagorean theorem, you would indeed be correct. Right? And with the Pythagorean theorem, right, C is the hypotenuse and A and B are sides. And we're going to look at this formally when we do trigonometry and geometry. But for now, say we're not always trying to find the hypotenuse. Sometimes we're given the hypotenuse and have to find one of the sides. So here we want to find B. So we've got our C squared. A squared is being added to B squared. So we're going to subtract it from the C squared, as we see here. And then, so that equals B squared. So now and we're going to do this in more detail next week when I talk about quadratic equations. So the opposite operation of squaring a value is taking its square root. So squared and square root cancel each other out, so we're left with b, and because we took the square root of this side here, we have to take the square root of the other side to maintain the equality, and that whole left side, c squared minus a squared, goes under the radical sign, or the square root sign. So b equals the square root of c squared minus a squared.